The truth is there's nothing magic. There's no pills. There's nothing that can just be like, hey, get rid of soreness. And over time, I've just started to get used to it and just deal with it. But I find that the more I've been consistent with my routine and been on a really good program and stayed consistent with all that, I've been sore here and there, but it's like nothing drastic and nothing that will affect my future workouts. But
And that is, how do you deal with and prevent DOMS? And if you don't know what DOMS are, they're delayed onset muscle soreness, which is just a fancy way of saying being sore from lifting weights.
yeah, it's a great question. And I feel like a lot of people go through this. And I'm going to have to say and I like to start with like an unconventional tip of something, a little bit out of the ordinary. And my first thing is just to never skip. And what I mean by this is like, if I were to be on a routine and then just like consistently skip my leg day, and then just try to get back to it, I will be so sore for days. I've been there. It's not fun. So a lot of times if I'm trying to get that motivation, I'm like, all right, I don't want to have to go through this feeling again because it's not fun. So that's a bit of a unique, different tip, not for everyone, but I think it's something to consider. Now, another thing is like, it's actually what you're doing with your routine. And you want to make sure it's like you're gradually increasing load over time, the weight that you're lifting. If you just are, back squatting and you're getting back into it and you're doing 225 for reps and you just are feeling fantastic next time and you're like, you know what, haven't done 3 plates in a while, which is 315. Let's bump it up. You will be ridiculously sore. So our goal is to just slowly make those changes, not to just do these drastic jumps. Now, where it gets tough is there's nothing wrong with soreness, right? A lot of people will be kind of upset about it. I've been there. I'm like, man, I can't even walk. Like I can't raise my arms up. But overall, a lot of it comes down to like what you're doing within your routine. Now, I know the main question, and a lot of people are thinking like, what can I do outside of the routine, like day to day? Like what can I do to prevent that? Now, it's been proven that protein helps with recovery. So making sure that you're having adequate nutrition, that's going to help you a ton. Something I'm a really big fan of, and it's actually not static stretching. I know some people praise that like crazy, but it's actually deep tissue work. So whether you get a massage, whether you use a massage gun. So I'm going to start from like the most expensive to the cheapest, but it would be a massage gun, and then a foam roller, and then a lacrosse ball would be probably my first choice because, it's great at just breaking down those, that scar tissue and just helping you feel less sore. And then the last thing would just be active recovery. So it has been proven, I don't know the exact percentage of recovery, but I would say 5 to 10 minutes of like a slow walk or a bike cool down or just something like chill to kind of get your heart rate down and get you to help. It does help you recover. But the truth is there's nothing magic. There's no pills. There's nothing that can just be like, hey, get rid of soreness. And over time, I've just started to get used to it and just deal with it. But I find that the more I've been consistent with my routine and been on a really good program and stayed consistent with all that, I've been sore here and there, but it's like nothing drastic and nothing that will affect my future workouts. But yeah, that's my tip, and hopefully that helps you in some way or another.
Yeah, and there's been some cool new science about cold therapy after lifting. So if you like took a really cold shower after lifting, has been proven to help a lot with muscle soreness and to actually cause less of it. The only problem is it might come at some degree of your results, nothing significant. And I think if you're not a competing bodybuilder, it might be worth the trade-off if you can bear the cold of a cold shower or cold tub. If you have access to that, I know not as many people would, but that is something you could explore, especially if you had a really, really tough workout. Or you can even try icing. There's different things you can do to get in front of it before it's like so bad that it makes you miserable. Once again, the hesitancy I've seen from that is that it can limit some of your ability to actually grow your muscle. Once again, I think this is really in the weeds. Like I would have no problem having a cold shower myself, and I obviously want to optimize for muscle. But I do think this is unique new science that's really cool. That's kind of at the forefront that I wanted to share. But past that, I'd say the biggest thing is just going through it. Like Kyle said, obviously I wasn't lifting at my capacity after I dislocated my shoulder for a week, 2 weeks. Like I wasn't really lifting anything serious. So I started to use real weights again that weren't 5 pounds. Like it was crazy how back my sore got, and it sucked. It was brutal. Thankfully I kept training legs throughout. That's the one thing I could trade. So I didn't have to deal with the crazy leg soreness, but you just got to go through it, and then your body will acclimate and adapt quite quick. Even when you're new to the gym, if you just go through it for a week or 2 weeks, kind of sucks, but then your body is just like so resilient, which is really, really cool. But Outside of that, I do like to optimize for that recovery. So obviously getting really good sleep, eating really great nutrition, hydrating, like doing all these things on the back end that will minimize it to a degree. Obviously, there's only so much you can do. Paired with all of Kyle's tips, I think is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and even an example, just let's say leg day, because that's the one that I think really hurts people, and it's not fun because your legs you'll notice the most. Like you're taking tens of thousands of steps sometimes, and you're just like, oh, every step it hurts. But like for us, we've been belt squatting, which has been great. We've been doing tons of leg volume 2 times a week, which is great. When we go back into the other gym that we're going to, and I get back to back squatting, it's guaranteed that I will experience soreness, even though I've been destroying my legs here. It's a different movement. It's something I'm not used to. So even though I could still do 315 comfortably, I'm probably not just going to jump right to it because I don't enjoy soreness too much. I don't mind it, but I'm not going to just try to make myself sore for the next week for no reason. So I'm going to probably do 225, get back to it, get some reps going, get the movement going, and then slowly increase over time. And for me, I'm more into just a lifestyle, right? I'm not trying to get something super quick. I'm not trying to injure myself. And that's like an example of like when you switch up a movement, when you do something different, that's what usually does lead to soreness as well. So you have to kind of consider, and I think a lot of people will do really random things, right? So let's say one day you're like, I'm going to do this cool chest press or chest fly machine. You're going to probably get sore from that, and you're just kind of going all over the place with different things. So just something to consider, like that is a big contributor to soreness as well, as just switching up the movements consistently.